Yeah, this is a bit of an emotional thing for me because I've been with Teresa. In fact, I talked to you about this before you even started it. We met at
Another event.
Another event, yeah. So anyway, this is the first event. The theme of it was self-identity, and the poem that I read is oddly apropos for the current situation. It's called The Next Crossing. For 20 years now, I have walked on solid ground, built walls I could believe in, always known what day it was, what time it was, what came next. Perhaps the time approaches for the next crossing, a life change, a lightening, an opening, a liberating. Shall I continue to be the rock, the tree rooted in centuries of time and building? Or shall I be the mist in the valley, a dawn rabbit, a bird in the treetops, surging forth on wings of trust to who knows where? Perhaps I know at last what I am, the eternal shapeshifter, all things, all times, now. And here's the final one. I am not here to entertain you, and I have not been sitting in that chair expecting to be entertained. This thing we do, this storytelling, this poem telling, is not a thing of spectators and entertainers. It's a thing we do together, something shared. Sure, sometimes there are costumes in addition to the words. Dressing the part helps with the telling. Dressing up the words, as it were, giving them a little visual pizzazz. Some stories are performed with energy and drama, sometimes even with music, while others are more simply stated. But in this time and place, this scene created by Teresa Roberson, this venue called Austin Writers Roulette, here we come not to entertain or to be entertained, but to engage, to tell stories and listen to stories, to engage with one another and with life. And this is what I've always loved about Austin Writers Roulette. Here we do not judge. Here there are no grades or critiques or prizes except for Valentine's Day. Sure, we may take someone's hand after we're done and say, I loved what you said about that. Or, when you talked about that, it really touched me. Or, I haven't laughed so well in ages, thanks for that. Or, damn, you nailed it, sister. Here at Austin Writers Roulette, there are no bad stories. Here is a place where every story is worth telling, every story is worth listening to. Some stories are created from the mud and clay, the pain and joy of our personal lives. Others from the farther flights of our imaginations. I've shared stories of faraway places and excerpts from books still in process of becoming. One or two of those got lost along the way, so be it. I've been the pedant anthropologist at times, and nobody seemed to mind. I've heard stories of others' faraway places, and stories of what it means to be a black woman or a transgender woman, or a New Yorker transplanted in the heart of Texas, into all of our hearts, to be honest. Stories of broken hearts and mended lives, poems that sometimes ranted and sometimes wove tapestries of tenderness, sometimes both, all at once. Austin Writers Roulette gave me the courage to begin sharing with other people the stories that previously existed only in my head. That was back when it all began. Dozens of roulette presentations and 4 published volumes later, I have to say I'm grateful for that opportunity, that gentle push, that Sure you can do it. Give it a try. Here at Austin Writers Roulette, there are no professionals telling us this or that, yes or no, do or don't. Here we are all amateurs, amateurs in the French sense, lovers, fans, admirers, lovers of stories and poems, fans of honesty and creativity, even goofy and outrageous creativity, and I'm almost done, admirers of the well-turned phrase and of the courageous life, and I tell you what, I, for one, am a forever fan and admirer of Teresa Roberson and her great gift to us, this thing she created called Austin Writers Roulette. Thank you, Teresa. Bonne chance. Bon voyage.